There's black in the cloud.
Turned 17 that summer, so I was like a young,
Yeah,
very immature dude with a lot of book smarts, and just couldn't handle that. And
man, that's and that even right there is a point, because I see a lot of parents who come at me and they want to get their kids into tech, and it's possible for them to, especially once they get their certifications and they get their degree, and they do an internship and they get into these tech roles, and they're 2021, and I, just like you, work with young people. One thing you can't beat is that maturity that comes with experience. And I think
right,
that's something that I would love for parents to employ into their kids as they are with the skills, is that don't press them too much to try to become engineers off rip and try to make a lot of money in their early 20s, because when you lack maturity, you lack that context of experience, you're just going to blow the opportunity. You're going to blow all that money. You're going to you're going to do a lot of ruin to the potential of your future, when I think the focus should be on, yeah, get the skills, but at the same time live. Like, go out and do some living, go out and have your kids learn some things, bump bruises, because though when you're coddled by your parents and coddled by a lot of the collegiate structure, you're shielded from the realities of that you'll run into the world, and then when you
yeah.
run into those realities, you'll fold. So what would you say to parents who are trying to get their young kids into tech? What would be some just advice, not even just developer advice or tool advice, but what advice would you give parents who want their kids to get into tech?
Man, I'll say a lot of things. First of all, tech is everything. And so even now, like when I watch videos or I make posts, sometimes I'm off and on about like phrases like breaking into tech, because what does that even mean? Tech is everything. It's literally everywhere. Like just for my dishwasher, I had to go to an app that made a call, which was probably sending out a message through Twilio or one of these phone API. Like, everything is tech. But if they're thinking about a technical direction for their child, trying to gear them that direction, that is a positive. I do not have an issue with that, because our numbers are horrendous. Despite so many programs, so many efforts, so many collegiate programs and pipelines, and post George Floyd, millions of dollars actually were spent by many of the companies. Sometimes we can kind of like them, not like them, whatever. But I know for a fact millions of dollars were spent trying to increase pipelines to help us get into technical roles. At a variety of ages, because the numbers are just horrendous. We need more representation. We need more of us at the table to help make the decisions, to help companies to stop making dumb decisions, putting out stuff that's revealed as racist later, and it's like, oh, y'all have no black people there. So I applaud that effort.
Yeah.
And with that, make sure that the maturity is the primary thing. And the biggest thing with maturity with a young person is self-discovery. They've got to learn who they are and what they're about, because they may come across in self-discovery skills and talents that they had that you didn't even recognize yet, right? You don't necessarily always see everything as a parent. I'm a parent of 3, and you miss things sometimes, right? Just because you're concerned with safety and things of that nature. But self-discovery and being comfortable with self is one of the most pertinent skills you can have that work in all of life, including careers. And they can take that into their tech lives. And as an African American, let's just say they were to, live the dream, go to great college and end up in something or mega company, whatever, and they can have the comfort to represent themselves without disgracing their families out of, some mental confusion about who do I need to be here as opposed to who I really am. They have to be comfortable with self. There's an old proverb, I'm not sure if it's Egyptian or biblical: to thy own self be true. Well, you can't be true to yourself if you don't know who the heck you are and what you're about and what you stand on. Have some kind of a actual life foundation on top of which everything else gets built. I always say, tech, we don't do tech for tech. We do tech to enjoy life. Real life is off these laptops, right? It's grass, it's families, it's friends, it's associations. And I hate, so many of our young people are so here that they can't even relate to one another, in a personal way anymore. Just basic making friends. I watched so many TikToks at the beginning of last school year, like fall 2021. And it was just like 18, 19-year-olds. Here I am alone at my door. Here I am alone on the yard. Like, y'all don't know how to make friends anymore?
Man.
Oh, because you're right here. You've literally lost the ability to make friends because you're not comfortable with who you are to present anything to another person. So back to that self-discovery, self-knowledge, self-love is pertinent. And on top of that base, they can build any career they want, including a tech career, if they so desire.
Man, that's powerful. So let me ask you this. So, all right, so you kicked out of school. I'm sure as an adult, you're like, okay, well, I got to make some type of living on myself. I'm figuring things out. So what was that? What were you doing? I watched one of your videos where I think you were working at FedEx or before FedEx maybe. But what were you doing?
Yeah, FedEx is now. So after the first expulsion, I didn't even realize I was like in a depression basically, because my whole sense of self was wrapped around my success in academics. And here I just failed my dream school, which would be many people's dream school, can't even get in. And I was in and blew it. And so I was done. Like mentally, I was done. I went from like one state university to a community college to, from one school to the next, nothing was working. I couldn't get it, like places I should have easily been able to succeed in, but my mind wasn't right. And after about 4.5 years, Dad was like, I don't know why this isn't working. We obviously know you have the brains for it, but you have to become a man regardless. And that means you need some money. So that's how I kind of fell into the restaurant industry. I think first one was a Dairy Queen, little Dairy Queen down in McGee, Mississippi. It was making ice cream.
They still have Dairy Queens? I haven't seen a Dairy.
They do down south. You gotta come.
I'm in Atlanta.
They got Dairy Queen, so don't even play.
Here we
He's
go.
playing. Go to Metro Atlanta playing with me.
Okay, I'm listening to you.
So yeah, I've started there, and it's just restaurant, service industries, hospitality in general, tourism, warehouse. There's just certain industries we have a tendency to kind of fall into because we don't have marketable skills. And most all of those industries are literally the cog